England's bid to end their 55-year wait for a major trophy ended in agony last night after they were beaten on penalties by Italy. Hello and welcome to Gulf News Kicking Back. England's bid to end their 55-year wait for a major trophy ended in agony last night after they were beaten on penalties by Italy, who claimed their first Euro 2020 European Championships, I should say, since 1968 when they won it when they first hosted it.
Yeah.
Guys, this is our last Euro 2020 episode, and to discuss it all are Matt, Shamsir, and Sahil. I really hoped England would win. I mean, when Luke Shaw gave them that dream start after 2 minutes, it was a brilliant counter attack. Harry Maguire had given away a really cheap corner. He was really nervous in the opening seconds of the game. But it was a counter-attack, and in fact Shaw started to move really well down the left-hand side. It would have been easy for him just to whack it clear, but he got control of the ball, beat his man, advanced into the box, found himself at the back post. There was a lovely cross from Trippier, found him there, and he gave England the lead. It was a great start, and I think we looked really solid after that and put Italy on the back foot. But in the second half, I think around about 70th minute, they got a deserved equaliser. It was from Bonucci. Extra time came and went, and it was to be settled on penalties. Now, Southgate has made plenty of right decisions, I think, during this tournament. He's already come out and said it now that he's to be blamed for selecting Rashford, Sancho, and Saka to take 3 of the 5 penalties. All 3 were missed. But what I want to know is, where were the more experienced players when we needed them the most? Where was the likes of John Stones, who didn't take one, but has taken it for his club and scored? Jack Grealish was on the pitch. He could have taken one. Because in the end, we've left it on the shoulders of a 19-year-old kid, to take the most important penalty in the history of English football. And sadly for him, it's not his fault. It was a poor penalty and it was saved. Look, we all know world-class players can miss a penalty, but I think it was wrong of Southgate to put such a big responsibility on Saka when he had other options there. It's not like there wasn't anyone else that he could turn to. Now, even if Saka was happy to take it, I don't think he should have done. That's what the senior players are there for, and it looks to me that they've bottled it. What are your thoughts on the penalties, guys?
First of all, congratulations to you, Imran. For some reason, you seem a little bit more down than ever. I don't know. I think you're just going to miss it. I think you're just going to miss us seeing our faces every morning. Yeah, I mean, I think that was one thing I mentioned to Shamshir last night was what on earth was Southgate doing? He made those changes at the end. I think Stones is one of the guys that took off for Saka, hence he couldn't step up. Maguire led by example. He looked really strong, took his penalty very well. They're the ones, those guys should have been taken off by. You guys like Walker, Stones, Sterling, Kane, Grealish. There's my 5 right there. That's just off the top of my head. I have no idea what Southgate did. He made those substitutions at the end, brought in Rashford to target, takes the ball into a tournament. Saka, who's very young, just after such a brilliant tournament, is just almost a limp way, and those questions that we talked about all the way through the tournament just come back about the leadership of Southgate. We thought he'd buried them along with all our quips and comments about him, and then he comes back and does something mad at the end. It was unbelievable end to a great match and a great tournament. But we won't forget it in a long time. And I think that these young guys will escape the albatross that had been around Pearce and Southgate's neck all these years of being those guys that missed those penalties. I especially hope so for Saka's sake. The finger of blame's not been pointed at the player. for missing the penalty this time. It's been pointed at the manager for putting them under that pressure, as you said. That doesn't take anything away from what Italy did. Italy, they were on the ropes for the first 45 minutes or so. England could have been 2-0 up, if not more. They had some pretty good chances. But they showed that real Mancini determination. They just didn't give up, regardless, and ground England down, and Bonucci got that, as you said, deserved equaliser. And then they went on to finally get over the line once they got to the extra time. After the extra time. And dreaded penalties once again come to falter England, shall we say.
I just want to jump in, Shamsir, before you give me your thoughts about another massive mistake that Southgate made. Obviously, we've mentioned the penalty takers there, but in injury time, in extra time, Italy had a corner, and that's when he made his substitutions. I mean, anyone knows, when you're managing a game, you never make any substitutions then, and you especially don't take off a defender to put an attacker on. He took off Walker to put Rashford on just for the sake of a penalty. That corner kick came in, and I think it was Bonucci or Chiellini who came really close. He flicked it on, it went to the back post. Lucky for England, ball was cleared. But that was a ridiculous time to make a substitution for the sake of a penalty. So that was another huge mistake that he made. Shamsir, go on, what were you going to say?
Commiserations, Imran, and to all the loyal England fans. And the game was, I think, to get into the technicalities and everything before that, I just want to say one thing, it's about mentality, man. It's about mentality. Italians were mentality monsters yesterday. And even when they were pinned back in the beginning of the game, they never gave up. And okay, let's start from the penalties, like what you mentioned, the English team didn't have proper leaders on the pitch. And even during the penalty discussions, you need to, of course, Gareth Southgate has taken the responsibility of choosing the players and everything, but your senior players have to go and say that, okay, don't give it to Saka, man. He's just 19 years old. He has never, ever taken a penalty in his career because he just recently started his senior career. The biggest game he had played was Europa League quarterfinal or semi-final with Arsenal. And that was his biggest game ever. And he had a stellar season. He had a good tournament as well. But don't let him take such a crucial penalty. It's okay. Even if Southgate decides on that, being a senior player, you have to go to him. Or if you are a Maguire, you have to go to him and say, boss, Gaffer, don't do that. We have Grealish. He's a seasoned penalty taker for Aston Villa. We have Stones, who has done it before. We have Sterling, who has won a lot of things in his career. Yeah, he has missed a few, but everyone can miss. But don't give it to someone like Saka, man. It's down to the leadership, the mentality, the quality within the English squad. Yeah, we can be critical about Gareth Southgate, but I will blame the fair share of blame should go to the senior players as well. And some of Gareth, if you want to be very critical, some of Gareth Southgate's decisions were absolutely horrendous. Like Rashford hadn't kicked a ball in the tournament even. He had hardly kicked in. And yes, he's a good penalty taker, but he has missed a few in his career. But he's a decent penalty taker. He's a young football player, but he's a very talismanic figure for Manchester United. So no shame in choosing him as one of the kick takers. But he hadn't touched the ball before that. Could be his first touch.
Yeah, you're right. I just want to jump in before you carry on there. He hadn't touched the ball, and he took 16 seconds to take that penalty as well. Referee blew the whistle.
He put Pogba to shame.
Yeah, and that run up, I hate it. We've discussed it before when players do that. They try to put off the keeper, but it looked like he put himself off. He hit the post, but to take that long, clearly the guy's not in the frame of mind to play a game of football, and it was definitely the wrong choice to take a penalty. Sorry, Shamsir, carry on, man.
Yeah, that's what, like even the players, whoever have missed that, like even Sancho, he hardly had any kick in the game. You need to feel, because this game is, like it's a European Championship final, man. And it's happening at Wembley, I think it wasn't the Italians who were faced by the crowd, it was English players who were actually gone into nerves, after seeing such a such a huge crowd, and you are giving the responsibility on the shoulders of such young players without even kicking the ball. That's ridiculous from Southgate, and that's all about the penalties. And when you look at the other side, Italians, even after missing the first penalty kick, you could falter, you could say that okay, it's all over, but rather they were still going all about it. Like even when Belotti missed that first kick, he went into Chiellini, and Chiellini was hugging him. It's okay, it happens. And he was giving confidence to Gigi Donnarumma. He's such a huge monumental figure anyway. Anyway, the credit to Italians, they are mentality monsters, and they did the job brilliantly. And to go into the game, before the penalties, I think Mancini did a brilliant job. Like this was the difference which we were talking yesterday, between two managers, the gulf in class between two managers, man. Southgate had the opportunity to just kill the game off in the first half when Italians were really rattled, because they couldn't get into the game. They were absolutely struggling with their shape. They were really rattled. And what England did, England tried to drop back. They could have went on and scored their second goal, and the game would have been over. Then the halftime.
We'll discuss the game. I just want Sahil's opinion on the penalty. We're discussing.
Go ahead.
Penalties.
Go ahead.
Sahil, I mean, I know you were hoping England would win, and they gave a good account of themselves in the whole tournament. But again, it's penalties that come and haunt them. What did you make of it, man?
I mean, first of all, yeah, you guys mentioned that it's a poor decision to bring Saka on for the decisive penalty. Like Italy had Jorginho, their main penalty taker, and he was denied by Pickford. Let's be honest. And yeah, Saka's 19, and as Shamsher said, his biggest game was a Europa semi-final for Arsenal. So can you expect him to score? You can't decide that. So it's a debatable decision. Yes, you can bring on the senior player like Sterling, Grealish, John Stones is a decent penalty taker. It is debatable, but nothing is guaranteed that any of those three would have also scored, right? I remember against Croatia, Marcus Rashford, a 19-year-old kid, had come on to score. I'm sorry, not against Colombia. It was against Colombia in the World Cup. So he was a 19-year-old kid who had scored that penalty. And okay, yes, Saka came on. He took that penalty. He got saved. It was not like he skied it. So it's a debatable decision, of course, that maybe Southgate could have brought any senior player on. But I won't blame Southgate. It happens now. Like, did you expect Rashford or Sancho? They've played now enough international football. They played senior football at a club level. So yeah, yes, they did not get a kick of a ball. But in the end, Rashford's penalty was poor. Sancho's penalty didn't have a run-up, and Donnarumma save. He's an intimidating guy. I've mentioned that before. Donnarumma, he's tall. It's not easy to score past him. Come on, let's be honest here. But I want to forget that. I want to give credit to Jordan Pickford. How about that save on Jorginho? Last we saw Unai Simon didn't judge it. Pickford did his study, and he saved Jorginho's penalty and still kept England in the game. But yeah, what else can I say? It's just a tough one to take.
That's a great point, Sahil. There's absolutely no guarantee, even if the senior guys had stepped up to take it, there's no guarantee. I mean, you're right. It could have had Stones come up. I think he's quite a cocky kind of character. He might even try to panic like he's done before in the past. I remember for Everton in a pre-season game in America sometime, played against, I think it was against Juventus, and it worked. He scored it. But you're right. You can't. I'm certainly not blaming the three who missed. I mean, I think Rashford's penalty was just a poor one. So I just don't like the way he done the run up. But like you say, there's no guarantee that, the senior players would have scored it. But should the game have gone to penalties itself? Let's just discuss the 90 minutes and the extra time. I thought England had obviously after that blistering start, I thought they played really well. They were on top of the game. They had Italy on the back foot. And you could see it on the Italians' faces. They were nervous. They were making mistakes. The passes weren't coming off. England were just bullying them all over the pitch with the fans behind them. They won that first half, absolutely. Italy had a really great chance, though. Chiesa, when he drove through, hit a drive, was just wide. In the second half, they came back a lot stronger, and they were dominating the game. And you could tell that there was going to be a goal for them. It came from Bonucci. It was a great save from Pickford, though, to keep out. I think it was. I'm not sure who had the shot, but Really good save into the post. Chiesa, was it? And then Bonucci followed up. You could tell that they were going to score. But you're right, Shamsir, you were making a point about how they were sitting back. I agree. You know, it's dangerous. You can't sit back on a one-goal lead. It's certainly not enough against Italy, against anybody. And, you know, my one gripe is with Southgate, with this England team, with the quality that we've got in that squad. You know, again, they kind of, they just haven't played that well with the players that are available to them. It could be such a different looking England team. It could be such an attacking team if they wanted it to be. But, you know, there's always that cautious approach, you know, defend first and keep it tight, which is great. You have to do that. Football isn't just about trying to score goals and winning games. There's other aspects to the game. But I think, again, way too much effort and concentration has been placed on that when there's the likes of people like Saka, Sancho, you know, Grealish, Foden on the bench, ready to play. If these guys are starting, you know, we could have been seeing an England team that was playing, you know, just as attacking as Italy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think first of all, you're bang on there about you know, not calling it off. I said earlier that they could have been 2-0 up before half time. After that early goal, brilliant finish by Shaw, by the way. So what a match to score your first goal for England. Absolutely amazing. In the second minute as well. It's like, where's that been all these times? I mean, Shaw's, you know, tournament of his life. I don't know where this Shaw has been. You know, as I said, he went from a third choice fat player, according to Mourinho, to this absolute superstar on the wing. I mean, he's been brilliant. Great start for England, and they were pressing, they were pushing. The Italians were rattled. They were setting to every ball, and you know, just a little bit of luck also, you know, kept the score down. But as I was doing a commentary last night, I was saying England just was getting a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And then after this, that was just as the first half came to an end. In the second half, they just went a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And I was like, no, I said, there's a goal coming here, there's a goal coming here. And then boom, Bonucci. And then from there, the heads dropped. And I was actually concerned that England might not see out the 90. Not the most historic of extra times, but the Italians did that. You see it in quite a lot of these kind of season teams now. They don't panic, they don't change their game, they just keep going, keep plugging away. They know that the chances will come, and they just got to take them when they do come. Bonucci did. Pickford did great. Chiesa was absolutely amazing last night. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant game. Pickford was the one to deny him. He should be the guy that should have got that goal. But Bonucci was there on hand, and he just banged it in at the far post. And from then on, I think that it was in the back of England's head. We should have won this. We shouldn't be level. We shouldn't be going to penalties. Did I just think penalties? Oh no, I just thought penalties. And then that's when England lost the game. You know, they started to outthink themselves. Southgate himself panicked. We all know what he's like with an England penalty. And so it's England was as much to blame for their own downfall as it was for Italian determination and quality, I think. So
he probably told the players, look, I've missed a penalty in the past, you can too.
That would have been the advice given. Getting into the game, man, yeah, like what I was mentioning earlier, you know, like England started brilliantly, you know, like that goal, actually Italy got called and absolutely volleyed by Roberto Carlos into the net. You know, that was a brilliant goal. You know, what a time to get his first senior goal for England. You
Actually,
know?
That is not going to catch on. Roberto Carlos.
And ever since that, you know, we, Italy were absolutely rattled, and England could have capitalized on that, and they could have scored the second goal and finished the game off in the first half itself. But rather, after like 15, 20, I think it was 25 minutes, you know, they just started dropping back, and then Italy started to get little control in the midfield. Even then, Italians were not in right shape. Barella was having a bad game. You know, like what we had mentioned, you know, if you want to get the job done on Italians. You need to have the advantage over them in the midfield, and they were having that. And Jorginho, Verratti, and Barella was struggling in the beginning as Rice and Phillips and this guy. Even Mount were pressing very, very hurriedly and brilliantly, so that the game plan was working properly for Southgate. But then but even Southgate wouldn't have expected England to score such early in that game, then it started, I don't know, they started dropping back. And then the halftime came and the things changed. Basically, Mancini took control of the situation, that is the difference between between a class manager and an average football manager. Southgate has done brilliantly. I'm not taking any credit away from him, but the difference in class is obvious there. This guy is a serial winner, Mancini. He has done it in the past. He has seen such situations in his career many times. You remember the Aguero goal in the last kick of the game. The famous game against QPR. So he has seen everything, man. He has seen everything. The Aguero moment. So this guy wasn't intimidated by anything, and he made the right changes. He brought in Cristante in the midfield, taking off Barella, who had a poor game. Ever since Cristante came into the midfield, Italy started to have more possession. They started to play their way, and England helped Italy actually. They started dropping back even further, like what Matty mentioned. I think they were in the Fulham Road, and they were sitting back badly. And then you have to mention one more thing, Declan Rice was having one of the games of his life, and I don't understand why he was taken off. That was strange.
I think,
really?
Slight knock, but you're right. What a difference that was, when he came off, because he was absolutely in control of that midfield with Phillips there, and Mount playing just ahead of them. That was for sure Rice's best game in an England shirt, in any game. I think that's probably the best I've ever seen him play. He was really in control of everything, breaking up the play, putting the tackles in, passed the ball easy, made some good driving runs as well. But you're right, as soon as he came off, the Italians came really strong back into it.
Yeah, because Henderson haven't had a great tournament, haven't played enough, and we thought that he will be the cool head, but he was making the mistakes. He was not properly passing. That is not his, I don't know, that was unlike Henderson. Maybe he's intimidated by the situation. Anyway, Italians were the ones who were going to score the second goal after the equalizer. The winner, they were the most probable one to get it. But then their best player, Chiesa, got injured. So basically, Italians started without Spinazzola. He has been one of their best players of this tournament. And then throughout the game, their best player was Chiesa, and then Chiesa got injured. So we were thinking, okay, this could be England's year, maybe, because with this bad luck to Italians. But then there were two guys at the back for Italy, man. They were absolutely rock solid. The Bonucci's and Chiellini's, man, if you're learning football, if you're a young kid learning football, you can just watch them. These guys are the universities of defending. Absolutely brilliant. One guy is 36, the other guy is 34. The crowd, the Wembley crowd, was actually fuel for them to perform even better. They were not intimidated at all. They were taking it as a challenge, and even the pull on Saka by Chiellini, man. You can't get past me. There is no way you can. And Bonucci was absolutely class. I think he was passing even from the back. He was spraying in passes. He was giving confidence to the team. And he scored that goal like a poacher. That's brilliant from him. So I think Chiellini and Bonucci were absolutely monumental in that defense, and the morale of the team. These guys, the mentality monsters, man. They have seen it all. They have done it with Juventus. They're mates. They know each other very well. They were taking control of that game completely from the defense. That is absolutely brilliant. And again, Jorginho had another good game even after limping off earlier in the game. But towards the end of the game, he was taking control of it completely. He was making interceptions. I think he made the most number of interceptions in the whole tournament. So you have to give credit to him. Though he missed the crucial penalty, this time he was not ice cold. It was a great save from Pickford. But yeah, Italians overall did the job. And Roberto Mancini, the difference in the class between the managers were clearly evident.
You know, I was watching the panelists on the sports channel, watching the game live, and Peter Schmeichel was on, and he made such a brilliant point. It's about Bonucci and Chiellini and Donnarumma. This just sums them up perfectly. He said, look, there's three of those players, all right, all different players, two centre backs and a goalkeeper, but there's one brain. So you've got three players, and they absolutely know exactly where, you know, all three of them are, who's in charge of what situation. Those three play so well together now. I thought that just summed up the Italians really well there by Peter Schmeichel's comment there yesterday. I think that was absolutely spot on. Sahil, what did you think of Italy overall?
I mean, first of all, it's safe to say that I think every football fan has fallen in love with Chiesa's style of playing. You know, he really, really rattled every player in that pitch. And he was just outstanding, you know, he's got power on his both feet. You know, he was just brilliant. First of all, he just really, and he took that save by Pickford on Chiesa. What a save that too, you know. And, you know, first of all, I had mentioned also yesterday that England will come out with flair in the first half. And they did. You know, Shaw scored. I don't know how he scored that. That was a very tough goal to score, because usually I've seen people sky that over the top. So yeah, but again, as usual, after halftime, Gareth Southgate's back, five at the back. You know, they played, as you guys mentioned, they're playing too deep. Not the best game for Harry Kane. Let's be honest. We've not mentioned him till now. You know, he was not having his best game. You know, he was strong, obviously, in the air, but he didn't have a shot the whole game. Remember that? You know, for Italy also, Immobile came off at the 50th minute, which was stunning for me. Like, they played without a natural striker. But then after like Chiesa coming off due to an injury, Italy also slowed down. If you notice, you know, England came back. You know, Sterling made some good runs, and if you guys remember Bonucci's unbelievable tackle from the back on Sterling when he came in the box, that was you mentioned, like Shamshir mentioned, that these two guys are the Picassos of defending. But in the end, you know, it can't be sad. You know, Italy just, you know, they went all over England after the second half in that goal. It's not a lucky goal. Yes, it came off deflected save from Pickford, but the Italians wanted it more. They were getting at the back of it. Bonucci came in, scored a poacher's goal. You know, this guy can do everything: defend, score. Now they've just shown it, and they played well. And England, some guys, you know, I was some tactical decisions of Southgate questionable. Like after the goal had come from Bonucci, I was shouting like, "Oh, it's time to bring on Grealish on, bring Grealish on," and then he comes on in the 100th minute. Was it acceptable or not? Debatable. You know, bringing on Henderson, okay, just stick with Rice and Phillips. Why bring Henderson on? You know, it's all debatable decisions. You know, I don't want to blame the manager at all. He's done a fantastic job. You know, it's not easy to come in a final. Beckham, Gerrard, Scholes have not made it. He's come with such a young team. You know, Gareth Southgate deserves the credit he's got, but India, nobody cares who comes second. It's always about first place. And Shamshir said Mancini's seen everything about that Aguero goal. So he's used to it, and his experience won it. And you know, it's just a tough moment for England fans to take, really. Yeah.
You know, it could have. They may have. There was a moment in the second half in extra time when Jorginho put in a really reckless tackle on Grealish. He caught him. He was over the top. It was studs up, right in front of the referee. I mean, I really thought he was going to be shown a red card. I mean, I've seen him given for softer ones than that. But he stayed on the pitch. I mean, this is all, you know, we're just guessing that. But had he been sent off then, possibly, you know, that might have given England the impetus to go on and try to win it in extra time. Do you think that would have changed anything if he had been sent off? Do you think it should have been a red card?
Well, yeah, I think he should have been sent off, but I think what in the referee's mind saved him was the fact that it was the other foot was grounded, and maybe he was just kind of, his foot was going back, and that's why it was raised. But if he'd gone to VAR, they'd have said, yeah, that's a red, but he didn't. And that's why he stayed on the pitch. I mean, there's so many what ifs, you know. It's like you could say, well, if Pickford had saved the other penalty, would England have won? You know, yeah, there's the referee didn't have his finest match. He'd missed quite a few things and got a few things wrong. Didn't consult upstairs actually when he should have on a few things. But Yeah, I think that all in all, just these fine margins of what can win and lose a match, and I think England were so close in so many of those finest margins that I said on any other day we could be talking about knighthoods here and open top buses instead of what ifs and what might have beens. And It shows you, and there's so many times we've said this before, that that's what football's all about. You just don't know what could happen in any given game, because you look at the likes of Denmark getting as far as they did, Ukraine doing very well, and then Hungary having the absolute brilliant tournament. There's so many of these plot lines, subplots all the way through this whole tournament. That's what's made it so wonderful, and it's what's made even the finals. There's been a lot more memorable games than that final, but even the final itself. I mean, we're still talking about it after 30 minutes. It shows you that there's a lot going on there, and it's just been honestly, it was a shame to finish on penalties in the way they did, because it means that somebody's going to have to get consoled. But like I said, on any other day, England could have been celebrating and Italy could have been commiserating. But that's the beauty and the tough side of football at the same time. Someone has to lose, and someone has to win. There's no silly draws like in cricket. This has got to be a great example. I mean, I guarantee you that anybody that wasn't a football fan that watched that will now be a football fan.
Yeah, I think overall, just to sum up, England had a really good tournament. They made it to the final, they beat some big teams along the way. So I suppose that's progress. But our years of hurt go on. As for Italy, I think, they were worthy winners. We said right from the beginning against Turkey, they blew them away. They blew everybody away. They've been really, really good. They were the best team in the tournament. We all love how they play. It's free-flowing, attacking football. And I think Roberto Mancini deserves a lot of praise for the transformation that he's overseen there, doesn't he? 34 games unbeaten now as well.
Yeah, definitely. The credit has to go to the manager. When he has taken from Ventura, they had actually couldn't qualify for the World Cup. It was such a mystery for such a big country. And they were in the lowest ranking in FIFA, and then this guy took over and he completely transformed them. How we have seen how cynical this side has been. Now they play some great flair football. And it's not only flair football, they can win different ways. Like yesterday I was mentioning, they can still hoof the ball up. They can still win that way. They can still play beautiful passes. They can still absorb the pressure and defend well. They can do everything on that pitch, and they don't have superstars in them. That is the thing, they played as a team. Look at their front three. Immobile is like a very, very average striker, to be honest. Yes, he had a great season. He has been having a great season in Serie A, but you can't count him as a superstar. Like you look at the England side, you can see Harry Kane. Then you have Chiesa, is a young boy who's just striving to be the best, and he's shown the world that he is capable of doing it. Then you can see Insigne is a seasoned footballer who has been playing brilliantly for Napoli. Then you can see the midfield. Absolutely, that midfield won the game won the tournament for Italy, I believe. Even not only the three on the pitch, even at the bench, Pessina came and he scored a couple of goals. Locatelli was brilliant. Cristante played his part. Jorginho, Barella, Verratti, everyone, man. And then the two guys, I can't keep praising these two guys, man. Chiellini and Bonucci. We often talk about Cristiano Ronaldo's and Messi's and Neymar's and these players who score goals. These guys are equally important. These guys should be celebrated the same way. These guys are absolutely monumental, man. Since they are not scoring goals, yesterday even Bonucci scored also. That's another thing. But since these guys are not scoring goals, they without them you can't win a tournament. When Spain had won, they had someone like Puyol at the back. These are the thing. These guys wins you the tournaments. Defense win you the tournament, and these characters win you the tournament. And credit to Mancini to grouping them like a proper proper family. They were playing for each other. Like we all know Bonucci and Chiellini are mates. Like what you mentioned, they all play with one brain. They know what they're doing. And in the whole Italian side, man, they knew what they were doing. That's the thing. The tournament, right from the way they sing their national anthem, they really wanted to prove, they really wanted to win this tournament, and they did it. And the credit has to go to the manager Mancini, man. And I think now they are on 34 unbeaten run, and 35 is the record held on by Brazil and Spain. I think they'll definitely surpass that, and I think it will be many more, because now there will be some friendlies and all these things. And what a great achievement. And for England, obviously, yes, I still believe they faltered at their first real test. That's what I believe. Like, yes, Germany, they faced Germany in the round of 16, but Germany aren't the same anymore. They are an average side, and it was actually England were favorites on paper, but you could see all the historic moment between these two countries, and you think that, of course, Germany could win. But obviously, if you are watching football, the Germanys aren't the same anymore. Then you played Ukraine, then you played Denmark. Finally, you met a team who had quality and were playing as a team, and they faltered. So,
Shamsir, just to jump in there, I wouldn't say that they faltered against Italy, because they held them to a draw, and for the first half they were the better team. Second half, Italy was the better team, and it went to extra time, and it was decided on penalties in the end. So I think falter is maybe the wrong word. Mentality for penalties, yes, absolutely. Still can't do it. That still seems to be a big stumbling block, obviously. But I think overall they can take plenty of pride from what they've achieved, and it is progress. It's little steps, to get to the final after that many years. So the World Cup's coming in 18 months, 2022. Will Southgate still be there? There's already talk about him, being replaced as manager. There's all this kind of, there could be a shuffle. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I think that mentality, you're right about that, is, you just got to toughen it up somehow. All the big teams get through, win it when it matters most, particularly when it comes to the penalty shootout. All right, guys, let's round up this last Euro 2020 episode. I think we're running on to about 45 minutes here. Let's quickly look back at some of our favourite moments from this tournament. It's been a fantastic tournament. It's come and gone really quick. Started a month ago, and it's already over. For me, the best thing was, I think, just Patrick Schick's goal from 50 yards out. Sorry, Matt, against Scotland. When you see a goal like that, it really is, it's a real special moment. It doesn't happen too many times. So that was my high. And I think my lows would be the three teams that let us down. We thought we'd see more from Belgium, France, and Germany, but they were a disappointment. They could have played a lot better than they did. What were your highs and lows?
So here you go ahead first.
Yeah, so my highs, I mean, I had mentioned before, Sterling's goal against, Germany, but also I like Harry Kane, the winner against Denmark. It was a special moment. England reached the finals for the Euros. And my low would be the penalty miss of Saka. Yeah, pretty much simple as that.
Well, so simply just to quickly say what to add to what Shamsir said there, when England found the first real test, I think I find that they were held in another game as well, and when they had the first real test in the group stage against Scotland. That's why I was rooting for England last night on a secret level as well, because that would have meant that Scotland were joint champions, because we were the only team that they didn't beat. The real high is to me is the tournament. It's just there's too many to just pick one out. I mean, guys, go buy this DVD. It's better than 82. It's better than 86. This is just brilliant. It's one of this will be one of those classic tournaments that we'll talk about in just guaranteed. The low has to be Eriksen. That harrowing moment that really put football to one side, and if there was to be such a positives that came out of it. It showed the unity that there is amongst footballers, amongst and the coming together and support that came out of that, not just for Ericsson, but for Denmark and for each other, and reminding everybody that these are human beings out there. This is not just, they're not just clowns there for our entertainment. They're not machines, and you know that this is real life as well. So that's a high and a low in one. There we go.
Yeah, for me, I have to say the highs, being a true blue, being a Chelsea fan, you know, I've been absolutely delighted to see Jorginho and Emerson being the double European champions. You know, they have won the Champions League like a month ago. So that has been one of the highs. And the other one is really an emotional one for being a Chelsea fan, seeing Vialli being so happy, you know, like was absolutely great. You know, he has been with Mancini throughout the tournament as a backroom staff, and he really enjoyed with all the problems he had over the years with the cancer and everything. So he has seeing him happy made me happy. So that is two highs, I could say. Then the low has to be the France moment, man. The fight between the squad, the fight between their mothers, the squad members, everything, you know, like, and the way that they bought of the tournament being counted as favorites by many, that has to be the low.
All right, it's been a really good tournament. It's gone in the flash, hasn't it? I mean, we've had so many games, we've had so many interesting moments and everything there. But yeah, we look forward to the next one. That's it from us. Remember to head to gulfnews.com for all the latest news. Congratulations once again to Italy, and well done to the four of us. I think we've also had a very good tournament too. So we will see you next time on Gulf News Kicking Back. See you then.
Thank you.
Hey guys.
Chaos.